All right, so every Slack is a workspace, but it's also a community, and each community is different, and they all have their own norms and values and rules that they abide by, sometimes spoken, other times unspoken. So this matters so that you can wrap your mind around how this community operates, how you can adapt to it, and also how you can bring your own belonging. You can offer yourself and help participate in building this community moving forward. So things to consider is introduce yourself and have a personalized profile so that people know who you are and have a sense of personality to interacting with you. Make sure you read and abide by channel purposes and topics if that's something that your Slack community takes seriously. And also notice other people's habits and ask for clarity. So you can see here I've opened up this to the right just by clicking this little eye in a circle, and it shows the purpose, getting to know your Slack community. Sometimes channels will have very specific purposes, like use this to discuss active leads with clients in the sales process, or use this channel to share feedback, or this channel is for daily stand-up updates only and nothing else. Make sure to pay attention to those purposes and stick to them. And if you're confused, ask for help from other people. Now, it can be really helpful to read through all of the content that's going on in these various channels, or at least get a healthy understanding of it, and just take notice. What do people share? What do they not share? What do people get called out for? What's the level of humor and jovialness and seriousness, not just in Slack overall, but in individual channels? You got to recognize that some of these channels have subsets of the community, some of them have business purposes, others are more for people to geek out over common interests, and others still are just for jokes and sometimes even lewdness. Now, all that can be okay, but what matters for you is that you're adapting to it and that you're expressing yourself. So a lot of times when people first join, they'll be encouraged to upload a picture. I'd recommend you do that. You can go ahead and look over at how to create a profile that's more personal. But I also recommend that when people join, they introduce themselves maybe in the general channel if that's what you see other people doing, but at least somewhere in the team. You can say, hey guys, new to Slack and the organization, but it's great to be here. Don't be afraid to send me a DM. There you go. Now you show up as nice and friendly and personal. But also, again, take a look at these things and see if it's something that other people are doing as well. And if you're confused about how to use Slack or whether something's appropriate, go ahead and turn to a friend. Like, hey, Perps, I was thinking about commenting and introducing myself in #general. Is that something people would value? Right? Go ahead and ask people how they think people should act in these Slack communities, especially people who've been in here for a long time. So don't forget, Slack is not just an app. Slack is a community. People behave in Slack a certain way that's sometimes the same and sometimes different than how they behave outside of it. And in different parts of Slack with different channels, there's different habits and different customs. So that might sound overwhelming, but don't worry about it. It's the same thing that you do every day as you walk into different rooms and interact with different communities at work, at home, and everywhere else. So treat Slack just the same, get to know it, and don't forget to express yourself and bring your own belonging.